Welcome to another video. You might be wondering how rich people can stay wealthy. Many people think that rich people can get anything they want since they have the means to do so. That's not even true. Although they have tons of cash in their bank, rich people in general avoid unnecessary spending. They still prefer getting good deals, living simple lives, and purchasing necessities instead of wants. They avoid impulsive buying even if they have the ability to do so. In this video, I'll tell you 7 expenses rich people don't pay for. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more smart money concepts. Expense number 1. Debt repayments. Debt repayments include anything borrowed from anybody. Well, I'm not saying all debts are bad. Rich people actually use debts to become wealthier. Not all debtors are the same. Jared Kushner, an American businessman and investor, is not bothered with millions of debts that he has, while another person can't dig his way out of student loans or home ownership plans. Rich people know that debts used for investments can be risky, and many of them don't take these risks at all. They don't often consider having multiple credit cards, applying for car loans, or home ownership plans. They will only take these kinds of debts if the return on investments can outpace the interest rates. If you don't have proper contingency plans, debt repayment can ruin your financial life and can hinder you from enjoying financial freedom. So you have to be careful because toxic debt can be easy to get into but difficult to get out of. Let's take college debt as an example. How long will a student have to repay a student loan worth $26,900? According to the Department of Education, it can take up to 20 long years. That's a lot longer than the student spent in college. For sure, the loan has incurred a large interest cost, so that means your debt repayment is way bigger than the amount you borrowed. That's the exact reason why wealthy people avoid debts as much as possible. In case they have to borrow money, they make sure they have a proper repayment plan. Warren Buffett stated, "If you are smart, you're going to make a lot of money without borrowing." Expense number 2. Designer brands. Conservatively, wealthy people don't splurge on luxurious items like fashionable clothes, sunglasses, bags, or shoes. It's true that we need to look presentable by wearing nice clothes, but it doesn't mean we have to spend extravagant amounts of money on designer items. After all, rich people don't need to impress anyone. Take Steve Jobs, for example. Many wonder why he kept using his black sweater, ordinary jeans, and old pair of sneakers every time he spoke in public, even though he owns one of the most successful companies in the world. Wealthy people give more importance to value than price. You might have noticed billionaires like Bill Gates wearing a $10 watch and Mike Bloomberg using the same pair of loafers for over 10 years. Other wealthy people also use the most basic items because they understand that material things are nothing compared to life-changing experiences that money can't buy. Let's be reasonable. You don't need to buy a new pair of shoes monthly if you can just use one pair for the whole year. If you're working hard to earn a lot of money, you don't really need to prove that you are wealthy to anyone. Expense number 3. Expensive real estate. It might sound unbelievable, but most conservatively rich people avoid purchasing luxurious homes. You might see celebrities posting their lavish homes on social media, but self-made billionaires often avoid these purchases. They probably live in mansions, but those were bought at a much lower price compared to their present value. Rich people might purchase expensive properties, but the value is nothing compared to the individual's net worth. In fact, buying an extravagant house in an exclusive neighborhood is a counterproductive approach to wealth accumulation. For this reason, you will see that the number of millionaires living in houses worth $900,000 are 3 times more than those living in houses worth $5 million and above. Buying a house in an exclusive neighborhood also means you have to live a more expensive lifestyle. This hampers wealth accumulation. In order to get the best value for their money and make sure the property appreciates, rich people usually get the best deals. With well-thought-of investment strategies, they buy properties at low cost in profitable neighborhoods which they eventually sell at a higher cost. No wonder Warren Buffett has been living in the same house since 1958. In fact, the Buffetts paid $31,500 for their house that is now worth $915,000. The current value of his property is a staggering 29 times what he originally paid. Ordinary people get big house loans just to buy the most fashionable properties. This is a huge mistake that savvy rich people almost never make. Are you thinking about cutting out some of your expenses now? That's a smart move. Well, we've got more tips for you. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified whenever we post a new video. Expense number 4, TV and video games. Other things wealthy people don't spend their money on are TV and video games. Did you know that rich people only spend about 1 hour a day watching TV? How about an ordinary person? You might be surprised. They spend 5 to 7 hours watching TV. What a waste of time. Instead of watching movies, rich people spend their time reading informative books or working on their businesses. Many studies prove that there's a connection between the household's total income and TV consumption. Families with a net worth of $25,000 and below usually have high TV consumption. On the other hand, wealthy families with net worth of $75,000 and above have a significantly low TV consumption. As a result, rich people have more life fulfillment. The U.S. Cable and Internet Market Size and Household Spending Report from August 12, 2021 reported that 82% of U.S. households have both a cable and an internet bill, and they pay an average of $116 per month, which amounts to a whopping $1,392 a year for just that one expense. It's just a hobby, you might say. There's nothing wrong with that, you might say. Well, you lose your time, energy, and money. How do you expect yourself to get rich when the only thing you do is watch other people become wealthy? Expense number 5, luxury cars and flights. Do you think all rich people always fly first class and drive luxury cars? Not at all. You might see some of them driving regular cars that ordinary people can afford. You might even sit next to them in an economy seat on a flight. Did you know that Mark Zuckerberg drives an Acura TSX worth around only $30,000? When asked why, he said it's safe, comfortable, and not ostentatious. Well, I agree. I think that's the most reasonable and accurate way of thinking when it comes to car ownership. People buy luxury cars to impress others, not knowing the future costs like high maintenance and needless car accessories. So why would you spend 10% of your income on a car that will eventually depreciate its value? Ordinary people who fail to resist the pressure to buy luxury cars usually suffer the consequences, while millionaires drive around with a cheap or even an old car. In fact, according to the Experian Automotive Study, 60% of billionaires own Fords, Toyotas, and Hondas. Expense number 6, fast food. You probably think that rich people usually indulge in fast food. They can afford it anyway. But no, they don't. Unlike an average person who can't resist eating fast food almost every day, rich people prefer cheaper dining options. Do you think when a millionaire walks into a restaurant, they would order a meal for everyone or reserve the whole restaurant for themselves? Not at all. The conservatively wealthy use discount coupons on their meals and would even cause a scene if they're being overcharged just because they are wealthy. Despite what some people think, rich people also opt to buy groceries and cook rather than eating unhealthy food at restaurants. They give a lot of importance to a healthy lifestyle, which helps them avoid unhealthy food. Expense number 7, costly formal education. Did you know that there are a number of successful businessmen who didn't have formal education? It only shows that formal education has only a small contribution to their financial success. Half of all billionaires are actually college dropouts. Aside from graduation photos and a diploma, what else do we get from college education? This is not to discourage you guys from taking meaningful formal education, but come to think of it, after several years of study, we are taught to work hard and not think outside the box or make waves. Even after a commendable academic success, some people end up taking any jobs available just to be employed. Sadly, people later on realize that the piece of paper they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars for doesn't help them achieve financial freedom. Most rich people learn financial concepts to level up their skills, something you won't learn in college. And that is exactly why you subscribe to Smart Money Concepts. We are here to help you get back on track and learn how to get rich in the shortest amount of time possible, something you never learned in school. While college graduates spend almost 20 years of their career servicing student loan debts, the rich are financially stable during this entire time. Rich people don't pay for expensive private tutoring for their children. They expose them to more practical skills, experiences, and opportunities that will help them succeed in the future. By doing so, they can avoid huge college debts and boring office jobs. That's an eye-opener. Now you finally realize that rich people don't live quite as extravagantly as you thought. They maintain their wealth by spending their money wisely and avoiding unnecessary expenses. Thanks for watching. So if you want to improve your life, make sure that you don't miss our next video. Click the like and subscribe buttons now.